Hello and welcome to the LocoFi install series. Guess what? Today we are going to install LocoFi module in a Tyco GP20 Santa Fe road number 5628. Now Tyco is probably the most requested request we have been getting after the Athearn Blue Box locomotive installs. So here we are gonna do this install today finally. So I got this locomotive off of eBay as most of the old new stock, and it wasn't really performing well when I tried to run it. So, or maybe it was the voltage issue, I don't know, but this LocoFi is gonna solve all these problems. You can see it's still kind of dirty, and there's no handrails or anything, so I'm gonna do that separately and make it look beautiful, and then we'll give it a test run. As you can see, the Tycos, they come with one side of wheels that are powered, so it's like one on the front and the other side on the rear, and the others are probably the traction tires. So this is going to be something new we will be attempting, and we will see how LocoFi will perform in this, and how the locomotive will run on tracks, on turnouts or dirty tracks and things like that. So let's keep aside these things for now and get the shell off of this locomotive. So as we can see here, trying to see, we got these two screws which probably will need to be opened, so let's start with that. Keep the screws aside. So let's see. Okay, this is probably just the weight, shaped like a fuel tank, and gonna keep it aside as well. And you can see some wires going in. And I'm gonna take out the front truck and the rear truck. I guess they are attached by these small tabs here. So, and the tabs here, you can see this small tab here. Let's get these out and there we go. Alright. Trying to be careful here not to break anything. Uh-oh, so the coupler is stuck. Okay, we turn it around and take it out. I'm gonna try the same thing here. This is out. Oh, wasn't that hard. Let me take out the coupler from here. Maybe this way. Yeah. Okay, there we have it. So as you can see, the right rail power is picked up by the rear wheels, and the left rail power is picked up by the front left wheels. So first, let's try to figure out the fitting of LocoFi inside the shell, because that's the most trickiest part, rather than figuring out how to make the connections. And that's all there is to it, just somehow fit it inside the shell and connect the 7 wires. We're done. Let's see. One more thing I think I should mention is that we'll have to make sure that the motor is isolated, which obviously is not in this case. It looks like, yeah, that's what the DC, the old DC kind of locomotives were. But we'll just confirm for sure. But let's first check out the fitting. So here we have the LocoFi module, and let's see if we can. It just fits. Actually, it's. Oh well, actually, I think it does fit, but is blocked by these two posts, which basically where the screws go in. And I wonder why they made it so long all the way inside, because otherwise, but anyway, so we have like two options here. One is to I mean, there is enough space in here, so we can just probably lay it diagonally. You don't have to really do anything here. Or the other option would be to kind of, I mean, this is plastic, so we just make a couple of cuts here and like on both the sides on these posts, and we make a nice gap where the decoder will kind of slide underneath, and we'll also make for some stability there. So whichever way, I really don't think it's a big problem to kind of lay it sideways. So I'm gonna just leave it like this, and kind of tie it with either tape or some glue gun, or let's see what else we can use best to secure this module inside. And as I told you, I mean, this is the most difficult part, really, trying to figure out how to fit this inside and seat it inside the shell. And so let's at least we know that it fits. So let's check out the wiring and connections. So actually, on second thought, I will actually make it a better fitting install, because we have these two small bars on either side, which kind of make it pretty tight here, and having another small groove here, this can easily slide in and make for a really nice tight fit. So just I think I'll just use my X-Acto knife here to kind of carve out. Let me just get this bulb out of the place, and these, wow, this is plastic. It's supposed to be like this, translucent. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I guess we could replace it with some clear plastic glass like acrylic or something. But I'll leave it for another day. So this probably broke from here while taking out the bulb. So anyways, this is all not going to matter. I'll just keep this on the side for a moment and get our knife working and carve out some little plastic pieces here. Make for a nice groove. You can also use the single edged plate, which is kind of more sturdy and tough and helps to kind of get more plastic with little effort out. So I'll be right back after I've made sure it fits properly. So I took off the plastic on the either sides of these two these posts for the screws or the rods, as you would call it, and you see it slides right in very nicely. It fits pretty much, pretty snug, but we'll still kind of tape it just for extra added to make it extra secure. And there will go our rear LED, the rear light. The front LED will go here, and we'll just mount the speaker right on top of this and let the sound come out the bottom. And let's start wiring. So for wiring, we have to see the connections. I think the bulb broke off from here, which is, I guess, okay, because we are not gonna need these things anymore. So the first thing we need to figure out is to isolate the motor. So in order to do the motor isolation, let's first unscrew these wires. So this wire is coming to the strip which goes into the bulb and out this wire. So this must be connected to this the left side of the rails, and because this is connected to the right side, and the bulb and the motor are probably connected in parallel. So let's first get this screw out and take this wire off, cut off the bulb assembly, and then cut off these extensions, and you can see that are going into the motor. Just kind of wrap them around or take them out or cut them off with pliers. That should take care of it. So let's do that. Out. I just wondered that if these wires are acting like springs or not to hold these metal strips in place. Let me just try to see. No, not really. Maybe they are. I'll put it back for now. Try to find another way to select the motor. There you go. Let's see if we have the wire off. If I was to tighten it up, solid again, everything's solid. So let's so I took out this screw from the center, and this is now free. So I believe, I'm not positive, I'm doing it for the first time. I believe the power to this frame over here from the wheels is coming to the center here. So that's where the screw was, and from there through this small metal strip was going into the motor. So I've taken out the screw so that we can separate the strip, and that would isolate the motor. By the way, meanwhile, this wire which was soldered here broke on itself, so we didn't have to do anything here, which is nice. So let me just take this assembly out, and then we'll work from there. Oh wow, this is interesting. This is new stuff for me. So I took this thing out, and it turns out these are nothing but the motor brushes which are held in place by these springs actually. So we will need these springs, and yeah, there is the commutator of the motor. I'm not sure if you can see inside, and these brushes just were kind of spring balanced on those. So I'm just gonna take out this strip so that I don't want it in the way and causing any short circuits and blowing up my decoder here. So I'm just gonna unwind this brass thing here, take the strip out, or we can just cut it off. Either way, it's better that we take it out, and then we'll work from there. So I loosened this up over here, so which I had taken out initially while it was inside, and the brushes have come free. It would be a good time to kind of service these brushes too. I mean, see, my hands are all black with this. So yeah, we can service the brushes, clean them up, and before putting them back. And now it's much easier because it's loose to kind of take this strip out. I hope it's not part of this metallic thing here. So if it's a screw. Let me get a screwdriver and try to see if it comes out. So I tried the screwdriver, it's not working. So what I was trying to do is take it out by not trying to rotate it here, but no, it's not working. I don't want to apply too much pressure and don't want to damage this thing. So what I have decided is to basically cut this off as close as possible so that it doesn't go and touch the screw that's gonna go in here in the center. And feel free to let me know if you guys figure out a better way to take this metallic strip out, and put it in the comment section below, and that will be helpful for all the users. So I'm just gonna cut it off for now using my shears or the cutter. Let's see. I hope this Zuron will work for this, or we don't need a heavy duty one. Alright, so I just hope I didn't damage my Zuron here. At least we got this thing cut off. Yoo-hoo. So that we can now put the spring back. Oh my god, look at this. It's all brass and is copper oxide, I believe, which is probably gonna be causing a lot of resistance here. So I'm just gonna clean this whole thing up, and I just want to do one quick thing before I reassemble it back, is try to see if I put the screw back in, it's not touching the screw in any way. So yeah, this looks good. I'm still gonna I think cut off these corners, and then I'm gonna solder two wires here and clean up these brushes and put it all together, and again clean this area over here which seems to have a lot of oil grease in here, and reassemble everything together and make sure we have the motor isolated. So after I'm done with these things, I'll be right back. So I rounded off the edges here, just cleaning up all the grease here, or the goo, just like this. I'm just wiping it with the tissue first, and then clean it up with alcohol, maybe some brush, and so forth. So here I have soldered up the orange and the gray wire here, these 2 points, clean them up, and clean the brushes here, and I'm gonna just put them back and assemble everything. I cleaned up this area as well with alcohol, like isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and so let me just put it back together. Sorry in case it wasn't audible because of the the exhaust fan for the solder fumes. So I've just cleaned up everything here and soldered up these wires. I'm just gonna put it back together. So I'd already put this thing over here, like I reassembled it back. But then I thought, there is always one more thing we forget to do. So I thought, why not clean the commutator? So I'm just gonna take something like a Q-tip, but it may be too thick. So I'll take just maybe a toothpick and tie some lint-free paper on one end and dip it into alcohol and just kind of quickly clean it up. So I'll do that and then reassemble it back again. So I cleaned it up and just putting it back together. To line it up. I think looks good. Seems this orange wire might be touching this magnet over here. So I'm just gonna resolder this wire so that it's not touching any of these things, because I don't want any trouble. So let me just do that and be right back. So I think it's all secure now. I'm just gonna put the screw back in with this wire rounded just like it was before. And desolder the wire from here, disconnect the wire from here, and use these to supply the power to the decoder. If for some reason these wires don't cooperate and they're creating problems, for example, they're pretty old wires, they might be just getting cut or disconnected, so I'll just use my own wires, but for now I'll just try to reuse them and see if how that goes. One more thing, I just realized that the right rail is the rear one, which was coming here over here and being connected where the gray wire is. So actually this should be the orange wire, this should be the gray wire. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna flip these wires and be right back. So here we are with the rewired connections, the orange here, gray here. I guess it didn't really matter that much. I could have just reversed the connections when connecting to the decoder, but to keep the conventions correct, I just switched the wires. It wasn't a big deal here. So I'm just gonna desolder this here, cut off these wires as well. Okay, so got this wire disconnected. I just want to make sure it's not loose here. It seems pretty snug. And this goes out because this will be replaced by the LED. I'm just gonna strip them. Let me just tin them and start wiring it up. So we got 2 wires for the power, 2 wires for the motor, 4 wires. The 3 remaining wires are the lights, and that's it. We'll be done. So I tinned up these 2 ends, and these 2 ends are tinned up. These ends are already pre-tinned that come with the decoder. So I thought before I connect these together, let me just prepare the LEDs, seat them in their place so that I know how much space I will have to attach rest of the things. And I'm gonna keep the decoder upside down so that we can access the micro SD here if you want to put in any custom sounds. For now I'll just put this window back just like that. It's not clear plastic, that's what I would prefer, but for now we just do it to finish the install. I mean, those were pretty much the steps involved, so I'll just wire these things up together and then be right back. Just a reminder here before I connect the wires to the LEDs. So the LEDs here, I've just trimmed the wire lengths here, but I've maintained the same configuration. The longer wire is still the positive, and I just want to reiterate that the positive connects to the white or the yellow, and the negative, which is the shorter lead, connects to the blue wire. So just want to make sure that the polarities are correct. So negative to the blue, the white and the yellow to the longer lead, the positive. I put some extra heat shrink wrap tubing, around the LED bulbs so that only the front portion is like visible, so that the light won't scatter around. If you wish that it should scatter around, then don't cover with the heat shrink tube. So I'm not just gonna wire these set these LEDs up inside the cab in the shell, and see how everything looks. So here we have everything wired up and the complete install. I taped this board over here for extra security, and then I put a double-sided tape below the speaker to kind of it sticks on here. Even if it falls, it's not gonna do anything because there is a platform over here, and it's not gonna do any damage here. So I wired everything up. I put the LEDs with some hot glue gun in place, and all the wires are connected accordingly. Orange, gray, this goes to the red, and this goes to the black one. The speaker was already wired in, and then connected the lights. And I'm just gonna close the shell and give it a test run and see how that goes. Let me put this back. I don't know if I need it, but I'm gonna change it sometime. But for now, I'm just gonna keep it as it is. I hope I put it correctly. And yeah, and I think so. I had never seen install of a DCC decoder in a Tyco, so this was my first attempt, and I hope I must have missed out something. So if you guys have any experience with Tycos, feel free to share in the comments anything I should have done better. And I do acknowledge that I might have broken something here. Might be on the top, probably here somewhere. I'm not positive though, so I'll just double check in the pictures and see if this belongs to somewhere here, and I'll put it back. Other than that, I think our install is done. I'll just close up the shell and everything and see how it runs. So let's give it a test run. Looks good. So here's how you do an install in Tyco, and LocoFi can support it. It's got good amperage, where a lot of, I believe, the DCC decoders will probably not even go that far to even support Tyco. So there may be others out there, but LocoFi does support it, and it's the right thing to bring out your old stock and start running them like real trains. So hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this was something probably new that has been done, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.